International Women's Day. Yay! Her for she. Get it? Like the chocolate brand Hershey. In this case, it's Hershey Canada. I can't wait to see who their ambassador is for this year.
My name is Faye Johnstone. I'm the Executive Director of Wisdom to Action. We can create a world. My name is Faye Johnstone. I'm the Executive Director of Wisdom to Action. We can create a world where everyone is able to live in public space as their honest and authentic selves. See the women changing how we see the future. Hershey's can.
No. Well, if you're looking for a glowing endorsement for International Women's Day and womanhood, Faye Johnston is your woman?
I would love for it to be after I'm dead.
But I actually want to talk about something so much more important than Red Dead Online.
Feminism in gaming. Feminine activists in gaming. Imagine Frosk starting off her G4 tirade last year with that opening statement. I might have been all ears, ladies and gentlemen, but guess what? We knew what she was talking about at the end of her monologue, her pre-rehearsed monologue. But funny enough, we're not here to talk about Frosk today as much as I would like to, but it really strains me not to do that. Instead, something maybe sinister, something happening ahead in the future of video games.
And now, the man who makes Doctor Who look like a small brown stain. It's
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
So you know I did a video about Nathan Drake. He's no longer going to be our favorite male intrepid explorer. However, today and yeah, you can see in front of me this very absolutely scary thumbnail featuring Victor Lucas, who's not a very scary man at all. He's a lovely bloke, but the woman next to him, I find her very insufferable, very scary. Her name is Zoe, I believe, and she's part of the coalition team that have given us those god-awful sequels to the original Gears of War games. You know what? I've got to talk about this video, then I want to get into why I think the state of video games right now is in danger of being taken over by the activists. Not just the male ones like Neil Cuckman, but also females like Sam Maggs. Mags, mad as a hatter. If you've never seen her before, she is as woke as they come.
I think it's really nice to see myself on the screen in a bunch of different ways, and I'm sure everybody feels that way to a certain extent, right? Everybody just wants to see their own story on the screen, and that doesn't mean that I want to see less of any one kind of story. It just means that there's so many opportunities to tell many kinds of different stories.
But we have to focus our attention on this video, and look at that. I mean, this got it's not a massive ratio in terms of what you would expect it to be. 34 likes compared to 169 downvotes. Well, in this case, it's now 170. And let's just give this a whirl and see what occurs. So, okay, it's the Vancouver Film School and the Roberta Williams 2019 Scholarship. It's about women in game design. At the moment, in terms of the actual gaming sphere, 61% of gaming devs are men, while the rest are all women. Now, I have nothing against females wanting to be in the gaming industry. I'm all for it, but when you see how this interview unravels and the other things I've come across while watching tons of video game reviews and news, you can see why I'm getting a bit, I don't know, turning into a monkey, I suppose.
It's about getting more women into making video games, yes, which you are very passionate about, Zoe.
Very, yeah.
And no disrespect to these ladies here, but can you imagine any of them sitting down and making the next Call of Duty, which I'm going to be talking about in a few seconds? No. And I'm pretty sure, all right, I mean, we got this lady here with a golden skull on her t-shirt. Looks badass, but I don't know, man. It's the same reason I think Sarah Bond will be the worst person to take over Phil Spencer at Xbox, because she doesn't play the rough and tumble video games that you and I like. She's all about the gentle, oopsie-doopsie 2D platforming games where you rescue your little cherry at the end and then you all go home and flap, flap, flap away. Yeah, whatever.
Yes. So Zoe, take us into everything that this scholarship kind of entails, because it sounds incredible.
Gosh.
Sure. So we're really proud of
My worst nightmare.
Yeah. So 2 students will win full scholarships to BFS. So their entire tuition and paid for.
Yeah, we get it. There are C's and C's of women here. We understand it. I actually find this topic is about women in gaming, and yet you've got a male presenter like Victor Lucas who's hosting the event. I love the irony there.
I think what we'll end up doing is we'll evaluate students. We're going to look at the based on what they've done. Yeah, and then we make fairly different games. Like we're both making AAA games. But
I would beg to argue that they're actually making AAA games. Yeah, and these two a-holes right here are the ones responsible for Gears 4 and Gears 5. 2 games I can never play again. Despite the fact they look incredible, just a whole narrative, what they've done to the beloved characters from Delta Squad, how they've emasculated some male characters, how you've got a female at the forefront of these new Gears sequels called Kate Diaz. She's fucking awful. I really think Victor Lucas doesn't want to be here. I think you can just tell there's a lot of tension going on, especially with Dana in the middle in her black t-shirt, because, you know, black is a slimming color.
Taking notes at home. Rory, why did you want to be involved in this?
There's been a number of things over the years. One of the catalyst moments was E3 a year ago? Last year. Last year. And it was an amazing game for the amount of women that were in games being shown, but every single time a male creator would come on stage and introduce this female character. And it was just inauthentic and disingenuous.
Yeah, Rory, do you know what's inauthentic and disingenuous? You're flat capping your stupid outfit. First of all, would the audience boo Sam Lake if he walked down the stairs at E3 and introduced Jesse Faden from Control? Sam Lake, the renowned games developer behind Max Payne and Alan Wake. Are we going to boo him? Probably. Oh, and what about the creator behind Lara Croft? Are we going to boo and hiss him too because he happened to be a man who made one of the most iconic female game characters ever? And as for Rory, about him talking about, it's just appalling that all these male creators are coming down onto the podium and they're introducing these female characters. It shouldn't be this way. And I like the fact that he's the spokesman here, speaking on behalf of Dana in the middle, who just looks very uncomfortable with the whole narrative going forward in this diatribe of a presentation. Again, no shade on Victor Lucas. I love the guy.
It just made no sense.
Yeah, your fashion sense makes no sense, dude.
A little bit of that is acceptable, but when it's so systemic in this case.
Oh no, it's systemic. Oh my god. Systemic male creators in video games who gave us iconic female characters.
It was not acceptable.
It's definitely gotten better in the business.
It has.
And I've been to every E3, and it's been fascinating to watch. There has been some positive progression.
Which is why I love Japanese video game developers like Capcom and Sega, because they just kind of stick with the flow, the actual formula that makes video gaming successful. But I want to mention 4 game titles to you. The Last of Us 2, Gears 4, Gears 5, Call of Duty Vanguard. What do they all have in common? Well, apart from the fact they're all shit games, the other thing they have in common is Laura Bailey. Very attractive, very accomplished voice actress. I do liken her association with these game titles, because she's the lead actress in them, to Ella Balinska. You know how I love to rib Ella Balinska on the fact that anything she touches turns to shit. And I gotta say, with Bailey, you know, she used to be best mates with Nolan North and Troy Baker, and it might be she's fallen out of favor with both of those guys. I know Troy and Nolan don't speak to each other anymore, and you know, for the shortest while, Bailey and Baker were like, they were inseparable, it seems. You thought they might have been born together as little babies, but it seems they don't talk anymore. Troy Baker's doing his own activism online, and it seems now that maybe Laura Bailey's taken a leaf out of the Troy Baker activist woke book, and like everything that she is associated with, it's, for example, okay, Vanguard, Call of Duty 5 Vanguard, okay, it's about the first Russian female assassin called Lyudmila Pelvanchenko. And the thing is, when you look at this person, they don't actually name her that in the game. They call her Paulina Petrova. So if you wanted to honor Lyudmila's name, probably incorporate her in the game. That would make more sense to me, make it more historically accurate. But I guess maybe there's some family lineage of Miss Palvanchenko, which is why we don't get her in the game. And you know, when you see Laura Bailey like, oh, and it's about time we had a female leading character in a military saga like Call of Duty, I think, you know what, that is such a shit move to make, a shit chess move, because Call of Duty's male demographic is huge and wide. It plays much more of a highly playable database of men at their consoles or their PCs more than women. That's an actual fact.
In a Call of Duty,
It has.
Your character, it ties into what Dave's talking about. Tell us about your character, Paulina Petrova.
Yes, I am thrilled to be in my first Call of Duty game. It's crazy because there's not, a lot of female roles in media about historical war for obvious reasons. And that's one of the things that struck me about Paulina, and when I started researching for the role, was how many women were actually in the Soviet army in World War II.
Uh-oh. I think I heard a toilet flush. Maybe somebody lost a turtle.
Yeah, women do play a Call of Duty, but to see Laura Bailey just getting on a high horse saying, wow, this is the reason why you got to buy this game. And of course, let us not forget, folks, that Vanguard was an absolutely woke disaster of a video game. Not to mention the fact that the Modern Warfare 2 sequel had LGBT flags in it, as opposed to American or other nationalistic flags, which you'd expect to find in a military shoot-'em-up game. But that's neither here or there. And of course, The Last of Us Part 2, where she played Abby Johnson, and she got death threats, which of course I do not condone. However, one thing I thought was a little bit sappy was that she got the Video Game Award for Best Actress, which I think was a by proxy vote. She had to get it, whatever. And the Gears games, where she is front and center as Kate Diaz, our favorite Gears soldier that we don't care about because we don't see her earning her status, how she became the soldier she was, and how she likes to just berate men in the video game, which is something which seems to be up Laura Bailey's activist tree at the moment. It's just a very sad thing.
Well, Captain, screw your order.
And that is the state of video gaming going forward, folks. Right now, I am almost finished Uncharted 3 on crushing difficulties. My favorite hard level to play on, because anything beyond that is just an absolute insatiable joke. But I love the Uncharted games, the original ones anyway, and I'm playing those again. Why? Because there are very few game titles out this year apart from Starfield and Lives of P that I'm really interested in playing. I like Atomic Heart. I might give that a shot because you got sexy female robots doing naughty things, and the Russian game developers don't give an absolute toss about that, which I actually love. I find that very refreshing. But be warned, folks, female activism is here to stay. It's now permeating throughout video gaming, which is just an awful thought in itself and might soon become a mind hive, just like the way Hollywood is doing at the moment with its TV and film output.
We are so often, I think, taught in this society and raised to be competitive with each other instead of cooperative with each other. We suffer from this kind of like Highlander syndrome of like, there can be only one. There can be only one woman in video games. There can be only one science communicator. There can be one YouTuber with red hair, whatever, But it was great to be able to write a book sharing stories about cooperation between women, because we really are stronger together than we are apart.
Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed my video today. It's all very tittle-tattle. And speaking of tittle, if you enjoyed my video today, make sure you hit the like button below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. But more importantly, make sure you share this video. Give me some love. Give yourself some love. And while you're at it, maybe show her some love